Broads Media.
Let me preface this by saying it's not impossible for the Eagles to win this game, and I do believe that they'll stay competitive, they'll be involved, and in the second half, we won't be disappointed in the effort. You'll be right there, right? I do believe that that's possible, and I believe that will be the case, but I don't feel as powerful as maybe I would have guessed if I was discussing this towards myself on Monday, right? Hey, Broads, what do you think you'll feel like on Friday? Well, I'll probably believe it's gonna be Eagles money line. There's value in that. They're an underdog by over a touchdown. Forget the points. Outright on the road. Let's go. But as we started to dial into the X's and the O's and the strategy and how exactly this is possibly going to play out, I'm nervous. And I won't lie. I won't just put on the Eagles crew neck and pretend that some of this isn't lined up negatively for the Philadelphia Eagles, because it is. And it starts with, yes, Tom Brady. And before you say, well, no shit, Broads, or that's obvious as obvious can get, when I apply Jonathan Gannon towards the Tom Brady effect, I don't feel very comfortable inside, because if you blitz Tom Brady, you will probably get exposed. And I will use all of the information from Tom Brady's history and apply that to that concept. So blitzing is scary. Well, what's the alternative? Playing a spot basically where you're begging and demanding your front four just to get home. This front four, there's no way in hell you're going to be able to ask this front four, who hasn't been able to get to the quarterback very often this year, to do it, especially against an offensive line that is just as powerful as the Philadelphia Eagles offensive line in Jason Kelce, Lane Johnson, and Jordan Mailata. So if I ask you, how is the defense going to work? How will they operate? Well, it comes on, oh my Lord, it starts with Jonathan Gannon to begin a good game plan. It begins with him having a good game plan. That sentence structure just threw me in for a loop, and now my brain is bouncing off the damn walls, and I'm trying my best just to get back on track here. But it starts with Jonathan Gannon just getting creative, and he has to do it. My problem is I haven't seen him all year do it against a quarterback that's not Mike Glennon, Daniel Jones, and the list goes on with some of these disgusting quarterbacks. And ironically enough, the game they lost to the New York Giants was Daniel Jones. Jalen Hurts had some tough interceptions. We already went through that. That's in the past. That's history. I'm nervous, though, thinking about this defense and the way that they're going to make Tom Brady uncomfortable. And I've been on the record saying I'd be willing to at least admire the attempt. So if they do blitz, if they do send pressure, if they do these unique styles to try and put Tom Brady in a position where he's on his heels and it fails, I can at least acknowledge they're trying something. They're willing to put their testicles on the desk and say, this is what we have. Here's my balls. They're on the table, and let's see how it works out. And if we get burned by it, so be it. We know the alternative gets shredded, and we've seen Derek Carr, Justin Herbert, Pat Mahomes, Tom Brady, and everybody else in the beginning of the season basically wax that thought process. So we have to go in another direction. And I still stand by that, and I truly believe that I would be okay with that being the case. But ultimately, I am very nervous from that aspect of things, and Tom Brady is Tom Brady for a reason. You can look through the history of, well, he did lose to Mark Sanchez before, he did lose to Nick Foles before, he has thrown some interceptions in playoff games, multiple interceptions in some playoff games. And yes, while the Eagles have been able to turn the ball over in some games over the backstretch hasn't been against very good football teams, and I can't pretend that that's not a part of the equation, because it is. It's uncontrollable. They can't control who's there, and the fact that they won those games and put themselves in that position, I will give them credit for. And look, I don't want to sit here and just bash the Eagles, but I do think it's very fair to criticize that angle and that aspect of this game. And defensively, with Darius Slay and Mike Evans, okay, what about Rob Gronkowski? And you could bring up that they're banged up and they're depleted at the wide receiver position. Who's going to stop Rob Gronkowski? Maybe, though, just maybe, though, and we touched on this earlier in the week where I was more optimistic, if Gronk has a day where he gets X amount of receptions for 98 yards, let's say, and Mike Evans is in that 4 receptions, 40 yards category where you limit him and one guy goes off, is one guy going to beat you in the passing game? The answer might be no. If the offense is capable of running the football, which is a tough task against what the Tampa Bay Buccaneers can provide, and oh, by the way, Todd Bowles is a very experienced defensive coordinator, I am still giving the Eagles a chance. I just want to make sure that I continue to stress that throughout, because I think it's very easy to listen to my tone and just say, you're giving them zero chance. No, I'm not giving them zero, but they are an over a touchdown underdog for a reason. Not impossible, not the biggest extreme in the history of the world ever, but it's going to be hard, and it's going to be a tough task.